sit back in the JR the Bossman show. We're joined by the Seattle Seahawks defensive end. He's a 12 out of Texas Tech. It's Branden the Bossman show. Branden, what's up, man?
Not much, man. Doing pretty well over this way.
I hear that, man. So talk to us, man. How's your off-season been so far, man? You've been working out real tough up there in Seattle, man. How had you the OTAs going to start up in a couple of weeks here and you get out there kind of compete on the field and show the Coach Carroll and the guys what you've been doing all season long and getting ready to compete for that right roster spot there?
Yeah, I'm real excited to get back and get to work. Been working out different places, like as if people on different teams and things like that, competing with them, and just matching up my skills to their skills. And I'm just really ready to get out here in front of the 12, in front of the coaches, and show them how I've grown my game since we last ended.
Now, Branden, with some of the changes that have been made on defense, some of the veterans have moved on. Has that given you kind of a sense of opportunity that you can establish yourself a little more and kind of entrench yourself in a spot long-term on the roster for years to come?
Well, you know what? The thing about the veterans that we did lose were those guys were, they're clearly a face of the defense for a long time, with Sherman, with Michael Bennett. But the competition has always been there, and the thing about Seattle has always been a place of opportunity. That's how those guys kind of got on. You think about Michael Bennett undrafted, going to camp in Seattle and then being lost and going over to Tampa Bay and then coming back, and Sherman being a receiver, return corner, coming over to Seattle with his time for Pete Carroll being recruited and things like that. It's just been a place of opportunity from the jump, and I always heard about, it don't matter if you were drafted or not, they want to play the best players. And they kind of showed me that last year whenever they had signed me originally on the practice squad before moving me to active a week later, and immediately throwing me in the game and getting about 30 snaps in a division game where, we were over there at the time fighting for first place with L.A. And that just shows, that the practice, and they're all about competition. So, with those guys being moved on, there is a greater need for, the younger guys to step up, and there's, of course, opportunities there, but that's just the culture around Seattle. It's been an opportunistic football team.
You got that right, man. Let's talk about it being defensive meetings with Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill, Frank Clark, and those guys, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thompson, and Richard Sherman. So what was it like for you as a young guy coming in? I know you weren't there long, but to be around them guys for that short period of time, learn how they work, learn how they prepare for games, learn how they think about the opponent, the quarterback, the receivers, knowing everybody's on the field with responsibility. So how was it for you to just soak that up for those weeks that you was all together with those guys?
And it was real good. It was good. Like I said, I wasn't there for as long as I would have liked, but just being around those guys, I felt immediately why they're such a good group and why they were together for so long, why they won Super Bowls and competed for Super Bowls and went deep in the playoffs, because just the brotherhood with those guys on another level. You didn't have to beg anyone to watch film, and if you had too much arguing going on in the film room, there was a lot of debate, a lot of making sure to get better. On other teams, you see teams who are me as a position group, and they'll have a close D-line group or a close DB group. This group here was close on all three levels, linebacker, defensive end, and defensive back. And I think that just goes for, the guys you mentioned who have been around for so long and having won and lost together and fought together. So it was easy to communicate on all three levels of showing, as a DB, showing, hey, when this coverage is right here, I'm expecting the ball. I'm expecting you guys to cover a little longer, because when they're showing this route, it's going to be deeper, developing. We'll be locked up longer. Y'all get there fast. On this one right here, we say, hey, DBs, we got to make this play because D-line is most likely not going to get it here. I know, with Sherman, he would say, I know right now, if they're coming out with this guy right here in this slot, this is going to be a quick route. D-line going to help us. Things like that, just working together on all three levels and without the coaches having to be breathing down your throats. So I think I really learned how to become a professional with just a year being with those guys.
Now, Branden, one of the things that we get asked frequently from listeners, and they ask our perspective on it, being on the field level, watching some of these big plays happen on field level, they want to get our impression of it. So I'm going to ask you specifically with Russell Wilson. He does a lot of improvising, makes a lot of great plays out of nothing. Sitting there watching this happen on field level, what's it like watching him do it on the field? And do you have to deal with that sometimes in practice? And you maybe he pulls some of that stuff on you in practice, and it's kind of, if you give us an impression of that as well.
Yeah, he pulls a lot of that stuff in practice where, on defensive side, we'd be like, no, sack. He would have been sacked. things like that, and he comes around the next Sunday and does the exact same thing, and it makes you wonder, like, I guess I would not have sacked him on that play, the way he just did that. And you're still in awe, even though, like I say, he just did the same exact thing in practice. You just, wow, it's 3rd and 10, and you're like, defense, buckle up. We're about to get out there. We're going to have to go get another stop. And then you see Russell run around, do 3 backflips, and then chunk it 60 yards, and then we got a touchdown. You're like, okay, I didn't expect that. It's just a wild factor he got with him.
He's a live joystick, ain't he, Branden?
Man, he's a magician back there.
I hear that. We got Branden Jackson, Seattle Seahawks defensive lineman here on the Bossman show with me, JR and John here. Now, Branden, you played in Oakland in the Black Hole. They got the Raiders for 2 more years, potentially, out there in Oakland. You played at the Central Stadium there with the 12. So talk to me, the environment. How's the environment in Oakland? How's the environment in Seattle? You played with some live crowds, man. You're using the NFL, man. You lucked out right there. So how's that vibe with these fans on both from Oakland and in Seattle?
Man, the fans on both levels are just crazy. They're great. In Oakland, man, they're so prideful about their team, and the Bay and the town, they call Oakland the town, and it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain the Black Hole, because when I got there, it was when the whole thing was return to greatness, and we had that year to kind of put Oakland back on the map. And the fans are crazy. It was everything that I ever heard of, the painted faces and things like that. I mean, it was just, coming up from Pittsburgh, the closest thing I've ever seen was the steel curtain and the way we had out there. But Oakland was amazing. But they really don't have too much on the 12, though. I don't know if it's the way that the structure is built or our stadium or what, but it seems like we have a less of a population, but it's just 10 times louder. It's harder to hear. Like, I've been in Oakland, like I said, I've seen the fans go crazy, but on that field with the 12, it gives you chills when they're up and roaring. And this offensive defense is going, it's a home game. No matter who it is, inside out, there's times when you can't hear anything on offense or defense, so it's just out there playing football, and that's when that gel comes together, that brotherhood. So, I love being in Oakland. I love the fans out there, but the 12 just showed me a whole different side of football.
Now, Branden, were you on the team when they played the Falcons on Monday Night Football?
Yes.
Okay. I was on the Falcons sideline. I was freezing my butt off, brother. Like, I couldn't wait to get in the locker room after that game. But it was a heck of a game, man. I know it came down to a kick or whatever, but I tell you what, man, my ears are ringing. But I had a good time, though. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
I saw you guys play in Tennessee as well against the Titans. It was a hot day in Nashville that day. But, the 12s even all came on the road to Nashville, and they was giving us a hard time on the Falcons sideline, but I had a good time dealing with it, man. So, I feel you, man. Being around them fans, man, is crazy, because here in Atlanta, we don't have the best fans in the world. You probably already know that. So, it's like the same vibe, but on the road, it's like the vibe is so crazy. I wish we had that here in Atlanta for the Falcons as well.
Yeah, definitely. I remember that game. That was a cold game you came to. I was cold, too. If I wasn't playing, I don't know. That's the thing, though, about the 12. As cold as it is, they're right there. And they down to the very wire, just screaming and hollering noises. Utterly ridiculous. And it came down to the last couple of drives. And I believe our fans, almost affected not around a few times, but Clemson was able to pull it out.
No, man, shit, bro. Now, when it's cold like that, now I see some of that warm skin stuff. The guys put on layers, so how do you deal with the cold weather when you get it in a game? Is that something that you put on extra layers? You go on the warm skin? What's your trick or trade to kind of deal with the cold weather? Because I know Seattle can get some cold games in Seattle, and if you come out east, you can have a cold game as well.
Yeah, well, everyone deals with it. You always got the guys who want to show, that it's mental and mind over matter and things like that. But I'm more of a guy who thinks in the long run, I don't want to be sick. Got nothing to do with the day of being cold. I can deal with it for a day, but I just hate being sick. So I wear sleeves. But then again, I wear sleeves all year round. I'm always in a long sleeves T-shirt under my uniform, so it's nothing different, not a major difference for me. I just like the way it looks, so I'm a sleeve guy.
My man. My man.
I was just gonna say this, JR, all the way through. If he was out there, he'd be like wearing a parka underneath his.
Now you see some crazy things, man. You see some guys pull out So, you got the guys that throw in the Vaseline, throw on a warm skin, a tight Under Armour, and then a long sleeve t-shirt over top of it. I thought, y'all, you're going to die if there's all that heat, and you get to running and sweating. I don't do it, like I said, all year round with long sleeves, practice, games. That's just kind of my style. So when it comes to getting cold, I don't never have to tell anyone, I don't got to look like a punk because I'm sleeving up now. It's just part of my style, and I always try to say I'm from Pittsburgh anyway, so it ain't going to be too cold for me. I like to think that growing up there for 18 years made me a little bit more tough-skinned than that. But, it's always fun to see people who usually are sleeved or don't wear sleeves and have their arms all out, and then all of a sudden they got on T-shirts and stuff. I know last year I used to always pick with Sheldon, but, man, don't come on now. Don't take my style now. Jumping and put on all these long sleeves, people just confused on TV. Just jokes like that.
Jocking your style, man. I know where's Craig Mack. Hey, jocking your style, bro. Hey, jocking your style.
Yeah. The other thing you guys got to deal with up there is sometimes you get that cold, wet rain, and that's sometimes even worse than like a dry, cold on the East Coast because it just gets you so wet and cold. So that's to me could be even worse. But at any rate,
I agree too.
Yeah. So talking a little bit more about on the field, defensive ends. Who do you enjoy watching? Current, former? Who have you looked to kind of see where you might be able to improve your game? Maybe borrow a move here, try a technique there. Who are people that you enjoy watching play the game at that position?
I was lucky enough to play with two of the guys that I watched. Not growing up, but coming up in college, my coach told me that for me to make it the way I was built, I could put on weight, take off weight, but I was seeing some NFL scouts for the tweener. He told me the way my path to success was to play like Michael Bennett. And as you know, I played with him last year, took a lot of stuff from him. So I was watching him before he got into the league. I watched him at A&M, watched him go through this whole process of getting snubbed and not being drafted, that. So that was one guy who I watched and I continued to watch. And it was really good to see the man behind the highlights films that I've been watching on YouTube for so many years and get to know him and get to hang out with him and pick his brain a little bit more. So I definitely steal a lot of my game from him. I was lucky enough to play with Khalil for a year, and Khalil Mack, we all know what he's about and what he's done, and he's a really unique talent. Somebody I like to watch. I look at Jadavion. He's just a freak of nature, so it's hard to emulate some of the things he does. He's just more reaction, things like that. But I think the one I watched the most last year, just based off of he just had an amazing year, was just Calais Campbell. And there's not a lot of people built like that, man. That's a huge thing, but just the way he was able to play inside and outside and the moves he was able to do was real interesting to me. So I paid a lot of attention to him last year. And then that Jaguars defense was balling too, so it was exciting to watch. It was easy to watch.
What about Dwight Freeney? Were you able to pick up anything from him?
I couldn't steal that move. I tried so hard to steal that spin. And everyone knows where it's coming up. As old as he was, people in practice knew it was coming. He still won't. The thing I tried to realize was if he spin it off his up foot or his back foot. So I don't know if it's a combination of skill and his body size, the way he's built, low to the earth. I don't know, but I don't get it down pat. I hit a couple of them this year that worked. My best one was against LA. It should have been a walk-off sack, but I ended up slipping. I didn't have my footing right, and I ended up just getting a quarterback hit instead of a walk-off sack. That's just something I can't say I completely stole. I'm definitely trying to, but I ain't mastered it yet.
Yeah, that one's got to be tough to pick up. So, got a couple more for you, Branden. You're killing it, my man. So let's keep on rolling. We got, let's see here, JR. What you want to talk about? Pat Mahomes. You want to talk a little about Pat Mahomes? You went to school with him, played ball with him. What do you think about him ending up being a starter in the NFL?
Pat's the real deal. He's a real competitor, so I'm not surprised at all. I figured he'd come in there, learn what he could, and hit the field running. And it's funny because when Pat came into college, he was drafted in baseball, turned that down, came to Tech, and the first day of practice, spring ball, we seen this man throw a 5-yard out. It was terrible. I was like, oh my gosh, how did anyone in MLB want you, and why are you our quarterback? But he grew up to have that strong arm. Everyone raised about. I was like, I've seen him with that thing couldn't reach the sideline. But Pat's a competitor, a great player, a great friend. I still talk to him and keep up with him. And we linked up and went to some Texas Tech basketball games this year. I was a little bit surprised that they moved on from Alex so fast because of how good he is. But when you draft a guy that high, in the business you understand it's coming. There's going to be a move sooner than later. And I think Pat will have a good year in pro impress a lot of people. And just be him, like I said, he's a competitor. So I'm sure he'll get better week by week. And if I ever run into him, I'll make sure to remind him who taught him the ropes when he came up at Tech.
You got that right, and Brandon. I tell you what, man, Chris Beard, your boys played real well down at Texas Tech this year. Made a run in the tournament, man. I mean, that was number one for a while, man. So Tech basketball's coming up too. The TT's coming up in all sports I see, man, down there in Lubbock.
Yeah, man, the double T. We're out there, over there striving for greatness, fighting something in one way or another. Little color city, little city, but we get a lot of players who just love the sport. I think that's what you've seen on Texas Tech this year. You had a couple of seniors, a lot of freshmen, but you can just see the love of the game, the trust they had in their coach, and they're balling, man. I wanted them to win one, but if they got to the Final Four, I was going to go. I was going to take my little chump change and give me a little courtside seat and go see the show. But I got to see them in Lubbock a couple of times. It was pretty good getting in front of that Lubbock crowd and seeing them cheer them on.
Now, I got one more for you, man. Now, talk to us about your game day ritual, man. What do you do to get ready to play on Sundays? And what's your playlist? Is it some Future? Is it some Migos? Is it some Gucci Mane? Is it some Chris Brown? What you got in the iPod and on the phone when you get ready to go out there and knock out these quarterbacks, man?
Yeah, it's my playlist it's crazy because you come on. I get ready, I get dressed, and as I'm coming to breakfast and all the way on the bus, it's all slow, all R&B. I listen to a little Jill Scott. I love listening to the Fugees. I listen to Usher, Charlie Wilson, all slow type music, kind of like the calm before the storm. I listen to that all the way through until I get to the stadium. When I get to the stadium, I turn it up a little bit, and that's when you start hearing your Futures and your Migos. And I listen to YFN and Lucci. That's probably my favorite word. Yeah, that's when we get going. So it goes from slow to real fast pace. And by the time I hit the field, after I get out there and get a couple of warm-ups, and I'm not even listening to music no more, that's kind of where I listen to whatever the team got playing in the locker room and vibe with my teammates and things like that. Okay,
so out of your friends on the team, I'm saying friends, right? I don't want you, make any enemies out here, but you got friends on the team. Who do you make fun of for their pregame ritual, or who has the goofiest playlist that's out there?
Man, I think it might have to be Arthur Smith. And the thing is, I haven't figured out what he's listening to over there, but I know it ain't nothing that he wants us to hear because I don't know. The way he's dancing, I don't know if it's some Irish music or what it is, but it's really a upbeat, maybe some techno. I ain't figured out what it is. I know every time we go try to look at his phone, he put it in his pocket and walk away. So yeah, he's a little goofy boy. Figure out what he's listening to. I'll definitely let you guys know.
No doubt. Hey, Brandon, my man, we enjoy having you on the show, man. We're glad to get to talk to you, man. We're going to be watching you all year long, brother. Cheering you on, man. Everywhere you go, man. You're always on the Bossman show, JR and John. We love to talk to you on the road, man. Good luck at OTAs, man. Stay healthy. Talk to you on training camp time as well, my brother.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks. That. Brandon Jackson on the Bossman show.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Back here on the Bossman Show, joined by LA Chargers running back Russell Hansbrough on the Bossman Show. Russell, how's life in Texas, my man?
Pretty good. It's kind of rainy, but it's a good day to be great.
I hear that, brother. Hey, so talk to us a little bit, man. How's your offseason been going so far? How have you been preparing for, the grand OTAs about to start up in a couple of weeks here? So are you trying to get your mind back in the entire workflow and ready to get back at it, try to get you a spot on this roster out there in LA?
Yeah, just been, since I've been home since January, just been at it with footwork and in the weight room, running and all type of stuff. Just keeping the football in my hand and, just being a football player.
So is that one of the most important things that you have to do in terms of preparation, is to make sure you got that ball security locked down for when you get into live action?
Yeah, you need that, of course, in traffic and things like that, but just, I always have the ball in your hand. Just having that feel of the ball, just having a good feel for the ball and things like that, so, yeah.
So just overall, having that feeling, it's positive vibes for you, connecting you with the football, so to speak.
Yeah, yes, sir, yeah. Yeah,
nice.
Just, especially, going through traffic, going through in between the tackles and things like that. You just need that feel.
So, specifically, what are some of the other things you think you're going to be focusing on this year as a player to improve your game and compete for that roster spot?
Just showing, I guess, that I'm a change pace back. Now that just have to coming into the NFL, coming from college, just had to show myself as I can be a third down back or whatever, and just be catching balls out of the backfield. When I was in college, I was every down back, but now I have to show that I can be a change down back and play on special teams and things like that.
Now, Russell, you look at guys like Kevin Falk or Rex Burkhead or Darren Sproles out there in the Chargers as well, or Corey Clement. These are the kind of guys you want to emulate to try to say, this how I can take my game to this next level, to be a all-purpose back, split out wide here, third down back routes, option routes, those end routes, kind of reading, knowing how you can be the safety and the linebacker, so you can know every spot on the defense, so you know where to find you open to get up, so Phil Rivers can get you the ball, whoever the quarterback is, get you the ball out in space.
Yeah, yes, sir, because watching film on those guys and things like that, when it comes to being one-on-one with a linebacker in space, they rarely ever lose, And you just want to just show that you're good in space and, you can run routes, you can be a wide receiver, and you got good hands and good feet and things like that. So that's definitely, yes, sir, that's definitely people you want to, look at to see, and emulate.
Now, Russell, do you kind of, when you watch film, do you kind of try to look at the whole defense, just look at guys you're going up against? Because I know when I play ball, I like to look at the whole defense. I like to know which every guy's responsibility is on defense. I can know where I can find my lane, per se, or sit down in my zone, get the ball, or what have you. And so do you kind of look at man versus zone, what they doing, what they playing combo coverages as well. And having a guy like Philip Rivers is your quarterback who knows every part of our defense. It has to help you as well, kind of see the whole field, know what everybody's doing when you get ready to run the play you're about to run.
Yeah, Philip Rivers is a great guy. He holds his own meetings at times, and it's a few quarterbacks that I know that do that. With the teams that I've been on, a few quarterbacks that don't really hold their own meetings, but he can hold his own meetings and show you what's going on with the defense just as if he's a coach or anything. He's been around the game that long. He's a teacher of game. He's still well, not I don't want to say still, but just showing people us younger guys, like, what's going on the field, and just, like, almost as if he, because, like, the few weeks I was at the end, like, he was showing me things that I didn't know, and, like, I'm learning now. And, yeah, he's just a great person to be around.
So having a guy like that around that's got that pedigree as far as knowledge of the game, veteran time in the league that you can learn so much from, and by all indications, he's just a cool dude that's willing to help out younger players. How valuable is that to an up and coming player like yourself?
It's very valuable because it just keeps everybody on the same page, with what's going on with the defense and then also with your offense. Because when you have a person like that knows the whole offense and then what's going on with the defense that you're playing against, then you have like a special guy on your team. So very valuable.
Russell Hansbrough here. I'm trying to run back here was on the Bossman show. Now, Russell, you guys play in a unique space, the Sub-Hub Center. So I want to ask you, I cover the Falcons a lot, so I go to Tampa every year, once a year. So can you compare playing in Raymond James Stadium, playing Sub-Hub Center, and how the fans of both teams that you played for, how much did you enjoy the vibe of each crowd? What's kind of different about each place there from a player's perspective?
It's kind of weird because it's not a huge stadium, but it still gets kind of loud, and the fans still come out there. They still love the Chargers, even though they move and things like that. Like, just being around the city, they don't care that they move. Like, they still following. So just like being like in that stadium, the first time it was weird because you're like, man, it doesn't even like lift up and go in the air or whatever. But just, like, knowing that, like, these fans would still come to a soccer stadium to support the Chargers or whatever, like, that's just a great feeling.
Now, Russ, running backs, when you were coming up, who were some of the guys that you enjoyed to watch play? And now, as you're in the league, are there guys that you like watching film on to kind of just enjoy their craft on the field? Maybe pull some of their moves, try to see if they're pulling some of yours. Who do you like coming up, and who do you like in the league now to watch?
When I was in college and high school, I used to watch Bishop Sankey. I watched Doug Martin when he was at Boise. I watched a lot of Michael James when he was in college, because I felt like me and him ran the same. If there was one person I would say, I feel like me and Michael James ran the exact same. But, yeah, those were the people I was watching in college. But now I watch people like Riddick out there in Detroit. And I still watch Doug Martin. He's one of the hardest runners I know. So I still watch him. And Quiz. I've learned so much from Jaquiz Rogers being there in Tampa, and I just I call him my big brother now because he just taught me so much. So I just take a lot from him and things like that. And we're kind of built the same as well, like short, stocky guys, and can take a lot of punishment. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Jaquiz when he played with the Falcons behind my guy Michael the Burner Turner, who's a good friend of mine, So,
yeah.
Real cool dude, Jaquiz, we played with the Falcons. And how has it been around Coach Mike Smith, Smitty? I call him Smitty. Was he a real cool guy to be around, though he's on the other side of the ball?
Oh, yeah, he was a real cool guy. He still, even though I was on offense, he still talked to me every now and then. But he was so worried about their defense. Like, the guy, he loves the game, and you could tell he's very passionate. And just him, like, I remember growing up, him being Falcons head coach or whatever, and just, like, almost being starstruck when I got to Tampa. Just, like, knowing, like, he was around those guys like Matt Ryan and the people, all the other people that was there, too, was just, like, crazy. Because I just remember that old white-haired man.
That was an epic shot. Epic shot on the Bossman show right there, Russ.
Smitty.
So, what's up with your game day ritual, Russ? You got anything that you do specifically every game, before every game, or do you kind of play it loose and just take it as it comes?
No, not really. I mean, I listen to the same songs, I would say. Since I've been in college, I've listened to the same songs, same 3 songs, but I like mixing with a different song too. And then also, I like to get my feet taken before my hands. That's probably the only weird thing that was.
Gotcha. Now, Russ, you know being Florida loves some Future. So are you a man of the future? Because I know as a Florida resident, a Florida man myself, I love some Future. And John said Florida man loves Future as well. It's the future song, Florida's Future. So you down there, did you hear a lot of Future going on? Did you love him a little bit? The Migos, Gucci, man, all them guys?
Yes, I listen to all of them. I love the Migos, love Future. Sometimes I feel like I'm from Atlanta. I listen to so much Atlanta music, you know. But I love those two artists. I guess.
So, Florida man, I've done an unofficial poll, and I have never met or talked to a Florida man that does not throw down with some Future. Russ, it is an unofficial poll, but I'm telling you, Future, he holds down that state. That's like the
state song.
That's like state, yeah. It's like the state artist for Florida, bro.
I mean, yeah, Florida's right there, so I definitely see that it's not too far from Atlanta. So yeah, the music travels well. This music travels well anyway, from coast to coast.
Now, when you're out in L.A., do you hear a lot of the down south music out there in L.A.? Because I know when I'm out there, I kind of hear some of the old school NWA stuff. You know, for me, we went out there and played the Rams, man. I'm out there back in Future. They're going to be like, what? This is what I'm listening to Future. Listening to my people back right here in the backyard. I'm not banging the West Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So what kind of music you hear out there in the West Coast, man, to be banging?
Yeah, you definitely hear them out there now. Like, they're like big in the culture now. So I feel like Future and the Migos and a few other cats from Atlanta, like they're just a part of the culture. So everybody's listening to them, no matter like what part of the United States you're in, you know. And they're just big right now. Like, they're making the music that's keeping everybody hyped in the locker rooms, and then it goes from the locker rooms to the stadium. Because that's what they know that the players are listening to. So yeah.
Get out there. That's a guy for the rest of this. Anthony Lynn, man, he's a former running back. He's an African American head coach in the league. So how does it feel to have an African American coach in the league at you, man? A guy will space your position, I'll help you with your craft as well.
It's good. It's good because just like meeting him for the first time, he's a cool dude. Yeah, he just wants players that want to win, you know. All he did was just ask me if I was in shape and if I was ready to go, and just went off from there. And just love that he gave me opportunity, you know. And I definitely see myself playing for him and things like that in the future. So it's been the few weeks I was there. It was a very good experience, and I've been ready to get back since I was there.
All right, Russell and John gonna definitely be supporting you, my brother. We look forward to seeing you do great things with the Chargers, and I hope they keep you on the roster and you make that roster. You be a constant for those guys going forward, man. You guys support here at ATL for sure. And anytime you come on the show, brother, we'd love to have you on again.
Thank you. I enjoy being on.
All right, folks. So Hansbrough, let's talk running back here on the Bossman Show.
Fantasy football season is fast approaching, and if you're looking for an edge this season, you need to contact the guys at Draft Day Consultants. The concept is a simple one. Draft Day Consultants takes your requests and connects you with one of their trusted analysts, who then guide you through your draft. Whether you just need a sounding board on decisions, or if you need them to conduct your entire draft, Draft Day Consultants has you covered. Every one of their consultants has a proven track record of success and have conducted hundreds, even thousands of mock drafts. Thanks to this year-round research and analysis, the guys at DDC have an unmatched understanding of player values. So gain an edge on your league mates this season by hitting up draftdayconsultants.com. That's www.draftdayconsultants.com. Now get after it, fantasy footballers.
Back here to JR the Bossman Show. We're joined by New York Jets linebacker Michael Alway here on the Bossman Show. Micah, how's things up there in Chicago, my good brother?
Man, it's good. It's cold though. It's cold.
Man, I can only imagine how cold it is up in the Chi-Town, brother. It's 81 degrees here today in Atlanta.
Man, I miss that weather. That Texas weather.
I hear that, man. So, thing about Texas and Chicago is it's great food in both of these different towns. So, being a football player like yourself, man, with a nice, strong body, so how do you control the urges not to have to eat all the good delicacies these towns have and get out of shape, man? How do you fight the urges?
Man, I mean, for me, I just neutralize it with just working out. Like, as long as I have a good workout, I can eat that way. But if I don't work out, I try not to go towards that route.
Exactly, man. Because every time the Hawks, the Falcons come over there play the Bears or the Bulls, I'm always like the pizzas, the everything. I'm like, it's crazy in Chicago, but you said that weather, man. I'm a Florida guy by trade, a guy from the Dominican Republic by trade. So I'm an island tropical kind of guy. So when I go on these trips, man, I can't take it. I'm freezing. So I got to ask you, man, you play ball in Canada. So how did you deal with the weather up there? Did you wear some warm skin? Did you wear layers? How did you deal with that cold up there in Canada, that North Pole Arctic cold, man?
I mean, honestly, I was lucky because I was in British Columbia, which is on the West Coast. So basically, I mean, it feels just like California most of the time. And we're the only team that has a dome, so the home games are straight. Now, the away games, when you play Saskatchewan, Ottawa, basically any other team, it was a problem. It was a problem. I just wore everything I could, but, not too much to slow me down at the same time.
Exactly. I feel you on that because if you wear too many layers, it will slow you down for sure. And I know you definitely don't want to look slow on film.
Yeah, exactly.
So talk to us, Mike. How's your offseason been so far, man? And how excited do you get back to OTAs in a couple of weeks to kind of show the Jets what you're all about and show the Jets what you learned up there in Canada and how you can impact their team going forward?
You know what? I mean, this is like a transition year. It's like I'm back at it. Out of college, I went to Tampa Bay, had a little stint with them, and now, I get the second opportunity, which, I'm blessed to have. Not many people get the second opportunity to show their worth. But, Canada, for me, was a huge blessing because I feel like I got better as a defensive player. I mean, 1 yard rule, 3 downs, bigger field. I mean, how could you not get better from all that? And, it kind of just reminds me of, those baseball players that come from, like, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. They used to play baseball with those, small little beans. Then they come to the major league, and they got this huge ball you're throwing, so it makes it easier. So I feel like the transition is just going to make me better.
Yeah, if you could, Mike, show our listeners some different rules between playing in Canada, playing in the NFL that you know is better than 1 year.
So, like, for me as a defensive player, the biggest one is, there's only 3 downs. So, what that means is basically you can't really just run the ball. At the end of the game, if you're up by a touchdown with 3 minutes left, that does not mean a guaranteed win. You can't run the clock out because it's 2 downs. So you really got to be really good with your pass coverage. And Luckily I came from Texas Tech, and that pass coverage kind of, translated to the CFL. And there's a huge field with receivers that can start. The slot receivers can have a full head of steam start. So you got people like, Jakeem Grant, who's, plays for Miami Dolphins. I can't even imagine him having a 10-yard head start before the ball even snapped. So that's probably the biggest thing, 10-yard head start. And then pass rushing rise, there's a 1 yard difference. There's a 1 yard. You have a 1 yard neutral zone. Instead of crowding the ball, you can't crowd the ball. You got to crowd that 1 yard line. So for pass rushing, if you get sacks in the CFL, you for sure can get sacks in the NFL. I mean, go ask Cam Waits. So that's what I say about that.
You got there right. We got Micah all right here in the Bossman show. New York Jets linebacker on the Jets roster right now. Now, Micah, now having that field the upright and right there in front of the end zone, that had to be weird. So I'm pretty sure offenses use that the goal post as a way to run pick routes, right?
Yes, they do. And another big thing too is, other than the goalpost being right there in front of you, where they can run pick routes. Another thing is the run game. The pole's there, so you got to cover the A gap, and the gap is right there. You got to move around the pole. And then another biggest thing is they got 20 yards in zone. So the DBs and us linebackers, we got to cover all 20 yards of that end zone.
So covering the NFL field is pretty much, man, it's a mistake. You have to cover all that territory.
I mean, yeah. I mean, compared to the CFL field, it's better.
Now, Mike, we have a lot of talk in the NFL about this new lowering the head rule, targeting rule. How is it hitting up there in Canada? Is this big to do about concussions or lowering the head or how you hit somebody, or is it old school football up there in Canada?
For me, it's just a matter of seeing intent in a player and what's natural, like what your body can do versus what your body can't do. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there on what's lowering your head, because I have my fair shares of fines in the CFL, and in college and stuff like that. Not fines, but people trying to tell me to calm down. And I feel like it's just there's player safety that should be reviewed on the defensive side as well, because for example, an offensive player can come, head down and try to go for my knees, and he has his head down, completely down to the ground, and he can do that all day long. But if we go in the same way to try to make a tackle on a running back or a receiver, all of a sudden it's a flag and it's targeting. So I just, as a player, I would want consistency with that, but I also do want people to have less and less concussions and, that whole CTE stuff. And, I got a new helmet, the Vices helmet. That's what I wore last year in Canada, and I feel like it helped a lot.
Exactly. And, Mike, I'm with you. Now, I'm an offensive guy myself, but I realize that it's just part of it is the game is the game. Two moving targets, you can't really – things are going to get hit a certain way no matter how you do it. We both going for the same ball across the middle. We both have right to that football. I mean, if we both going for it, we may hit head to head, or I might catch the ball. I may duck my head, and now you hit me in the head. It's not you targeting my head. I ducked my head, and you having to hit my moving target. So I feel like there's not a lot of sense being made of it, Micah, and I feel like, people either sit in a suit in New York City or wherever you at and make up these rules where you're not the one out there having to play it under those rules and just understand what's going on. I just feel like so many people don't get it, like the way you and I get it. That's from playing the game.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm a science guy, so when they come and tell me like you got to do this, like for example, I hit Finch from Calgary last year, and Finch is he's 5'6", 5'7", and he was coming across a crossing route, and the quarterback stared him down, so. Me, I couldn't get there in time to make a pick, so the next best thing is a big hit. So for me, I already got flagged that game Actually, I didn't get flagged, but I already got, looked at that game for hitting someone else. So I was thinking, all right, let me put my shoulder, let me get low, make sure my head's up, and hit him. But when I hit him, he's 5'6", and I'm 6 foot. So that's 4 inches already. You can't scientifically tell me that I got to get down 5 more inches and be in a safe position myself. That's hard. That means my head has to be down at that point if I'm getting 5 inches lower. And, the biggest factor probably that people don't realize is this is instantaneous. This is like a bullet. There's really no time to think all of that. You just see ball,
reacting.
Get ball. It's reaction. So the intent, am I trying to hurt people out there? No, not at all. Not even close. I'm just trying to make a play because I have a resume I'm trying to put on the table too. So.
Exactly. I wish more people had our points of view, Mike, on that, because I'll tell you, me and you both have the same idea about that. Now I know you're from Nigeria, man, and where soccer is a very prevalent sport there. So, at what point did you decide that football was a sport that you wanted to pursue?
It was actually in 7th grade when, in Texas, you start football in 7th grade in school, and everybody did it. I wasn't really into it. I used to see it on TV and change the channel. But 7th grade came around, and everybody in athletics did football, and I was like, shoot, I need to do this too. And then I started off, and, the funny thing is I started off on D team. Not C team, not B team, D team, like the 4th team. And I played fullback, and, on that day, I cried on the way back home because I was on the bottom of the totem pole, and I was like, I don't want to be here no more. So, the rest of the story.
We do know the rest of the story. You're in that CFL, NFL doing your thing. So, now, do you feel like the sense of you and Jerry taught you, and you played at Texas Tech, and now you're at the Jets CFL, did you feel like there's a sense of Nigeria that more kids are liking football, see you guys as heroes, see as an option for those guys outside of soccer, they can maybe play this sport as well and use some of that talent they have to come over here and show them their speed and their skills over here in the NFL?
I mean, yeah, because, the biggest goal is, in high school, only 1% of any high school player will make it NFL. That's a fact. But, there's a way bigger percentage that can go to college and get their college paid for. And that's the biggest thing that, I believe has helped me because, this off-season job, I was a researcher at University of Illinois because I got an engineering degree. But, the reason why that's actually important is because when you're going for your dreams and your goals, some people can't because they don't have money to keep on going for the dreams and the goals because you don't actually get paid from the NFL until you play that first game. So you got to make a living out of whatever you did in college or whatever you do before you make it in the NFL because if you're not a first-round pick, if you're not drafted, you don't got that extra money. You just got to do it on your own risk. So, that's what I would hope that any little kid that looks up to me is like, I'm trying to get to college and I'm trying to play football to help me out in my life. And if I'm blessed enough to play in the NFL.
Exactly, because that education is very important. Because education is power. And if you have that education, you can do anything you want to do. You got to have something to fall back on in case this football didn't work out for me. Okay, I became a radio host. So my degree in business is helping me be a radio host now and run my radio business for its marketing and all on my own. So I'm a perfect example of what you're talking about. Is that, hey, I didn't make it, but I had something to fall back on outside of the football field to still be successful today.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, man, who are some linebackers you like to watch on film and kind of borrow from their games and kind of put it in your games so you can kind of use that techniques to help you on the field as well? Who are some guys you love to watch on film, man, and borrow from?
Man, like the first guy that comes to mind is Patrick Willis. I mean, I'm sad that he retired because he retired after 8 years, perfectly healthy, and I'm happy for him. That's how most people want to go, but it's only because the way he played and the way he played is what I try to emulate after because he plays with speed. That guy, he's a guy who plays with speed, and speed translates into power and all that, and the way he used to hit people and, you know, make big plays like that, that feeds off the whole team. I mean, that feeds on the other team. The other team's looking like, dang, he keeps on popping all our receivers, all our own linemen. We can't do nothing about him. And as a linebacker, I feel like if you can change the game from the linebacker position, that's more valuable than any other position on the field. So that's probably the number one guy. You know, there's a couple people out there who, you know, Eric Kendricks, all the smaller guys, Deion Jones, Deion Buchanan, you know, 6 foot, 220, said they're too small, but, you know, Deion Jones, Pro Bowl, hitting people, knocking people out, hitting Cam Newton, who's 260. You're like, he doesn't care, but he plays with speed. He came with more speed and power. So those are the kind of guys I look up to.
And Deion Jones is a great guy. I love talking to him with the Falcons here. He's a great guy. He plays great. He plays a good teammate. I love the success he's having. He's a great guy. He's great to watch on film. Now, I know you went to school with Pat Mahomes, man. Did you think this guy would be an NFL star and a starter already in the league? Did you see that when you was playing with him at Tech?
Yeah, I did. I mean, he's just, I don't know. It's talent. That's talent. You can't really hide talent for long. So I knew it was just a matter of time until he got his chance, and especially when he went first round to Kansas City, I was like, they got a plan. They know what they want, and they have a good team, and he's one of those guys that he's a winner. You know, I really wish at Tech, you know, we could have got a championship because we had a whole bunch of competitors. I can tell you that, especially my senior year, we had a whole bunch of people out there trying to win games. It just didn't, you know, fall that way, and he was a big reason why we won a lot of games. And you know, he has that swagger that you need to play in the NFL.
You got that right. And the last one for you is this, Micah, is this. What was your game day ritual, man, to get ready to play, man? So are you a guy that comes stadium 3 hours early? Are you listening to your music? Or you get your feet? Talk about your game day ritual. What gets you going to play? Go out there and wreak havoc on these offenses out here, man.
You know, that's ironic because in the CFL, I just changed things up because I went from having the rituals in college and stuff like that, trying to stick to a plan, and I just went from that to, you know, I didn't have a ritual. I just, whatever happened that day before the locker room, talk to my teammates, you know, get my mind just in a place to where I know, you know, first off, it's a blessing to be out there, and number two, I got nothing to lose because, you know, the scariest type of man out there is a man who has nothing to lose. So that's how I played, with just that mentality. So I didn't really stick to any plan because you never know what the plan is. You might want to go in the A gap, but then, you know, you have a D tackle that slants there on accident. You got to go. You got to make the play and play like there's nothing to lose.
I feel that, Micah. Now, Micah, as a linebacker, is your favorite blitz the double A gap blitz? Is that your favorite blitz, or you like to do a come on the outside off a TE stunt? Talk to me. So what's your favorite blitz to get off that quarterback, man?
You know, honestly, like, to me, it don't really matter, but, like, my favorite kind of blitz is that's hard. That's hard because, I mean, I can go – the A-gap and B-gaps are always good, especially because I can use my speed against the guards and centers to, you know, dip and rip because I feel like that's probably my biggest asset of my game is the speed coming in there because they, you know, hunkering down on these 300-pound defensive linemen, and then I come through, you know, full speed and dip and rip, and it's just a switch up to them. So I guess A-gap is pretty good. That's a good blitz.
Yeah, I think that I'm talking about. I love the A gap blitz because it forces the defense or offense to change the play call, and you know it. And if you know you're just showing it to make them change to something else, you're gonna drop out and get you an easy pick. And if they think you coming, you can get on a hot route, get you a nice pick, and go in and house that sucker. Because trust me, as a wide receiver, I have seen million times where my quarterback changed the play because of the double A gap showing a pre-snap, and they knew they knew all the hot routes and jumped it. They knew like, oh man,
exactly.
He housed them. So man, that double A gap always causes chaos for offense, no matter what. No, if you're coming or you're just bluffing, it always causes trouble on offside the ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, Micah. Good talk to a fellow football guy like yourself, man. I can talk ball with you all day long, talk strategy, because, man, it's just great to talk to a football player like myself, man. It's getting me all jacked up on here on the show, bro. So, hey, man, best of luck to you, Micah. We got to have you on again real soon, brother. Good luck at OTAs, man. We'll definitely keep an eye out here in the Boston down in ATL, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, folks. No problem. Michael Arway on the Bossman Show, people.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.
For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service. Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Album is available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.